Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Today I want to show you guys one of those popular recipes that I've been making for probably the last 7 years. People always come to me with issues of they don't have time to eat, they need a meal on the go, or they just, a lot of times it's the meal prep part of it. So I want to show you guys this very, very simple no-bake protein bar that I make every week for me because it's a great little thing to have in a clutch, or I always grab them and go. So all you need are 7 simple ingredients that you probably already have anyway. We're just gonna use some oatmeal. We're gonna do old-fashioned oats. I recommend the old-fashioned oats over the the quick oats, just because the old-fashioned oats are the actual full piece of oat, so they have a little more texture and taste to them. We're gonna use some chocolate protein powder. We're gonna use some dark chocolate chips, cocoa powder, some reduced sugar cranberries, natural peanut butter, and then just some water. So, and all you need is 1 bowl, spatula, a loaf pan, and wax paper, and you're ready to go. And the reason I like this recipe so much is because you can make a huge batch at a time and use like a 9x13 pan if you want, and just like triple the recipe. And then you can cut them up, portion them out, and have them in the freezer. That way before you leave for work in the morning, you can eat breakfast, grab one from the freezer, go, and you have a perfect meal of your protein, carbs, and fats. It's great to fit in your macros. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're just gonna use a medium-sized mixing bowl, and we're gonna add in 2 cups of the old-fashioned oats. And then the protein, we're gonna add 1.5 cups of, this is milk chocolate protein. And everybody asks, what protein flavors and brands do I like? I love vanilla ice cream, and then I also use a lot of the milk chocolate. The first form, level 1, it's a low temperature processed protein. It is absolutely wonderful for just your regular protein shakes. I use it in smoothies. I use it on my baked goods, my no baked goods. It's very, very versatile, so I highly recommend it. And then the next item we're gonna add is going to be 1.5 teaspoons of cocoa powder. And then we're gonna add in 1/4 cup of the reduced sugar cranberries. And the reason I like the reduced sugar, and I buy the Ocean Spray brand reduced sugar, is because the sugar in this per 1/4 cup is 14 grams. If you buy the traditional ones, it's 29 grams. So it's a way to cut your sugar down. It also cuts about 20 calories down per serving with that. So I like to use this reduced sugar brand, and you can find it in any grocery store. A lot of times these are in the baking aisle or in the produce aisle. So if you guys have a hard time finding cranberries, check those 2 spots, and I guarantee you'll find them in one of those places. And then we're going to add in 1/2 cup of natural peanut butter. I like to use, this is Jif Natural, or also like Skippy Natural. I don't really like to use the Smucker's Natural brand just because the separation of the oil in that is a little bit stronger than this. So I prefer like a Jif or Skippy brand. Just gonna add that 1/2 cup in. And then we're going to add in 1/2 cup of water plus 2 tablespoons of water to this. All right, and last, we're gonna add in 1/8 cup of dark chocolate chips. Now you can buy mini chocolate chips and not have to chop them, but these are larger, so I'm gonna go ahead and chop these up. We're just gonna add those in. Right, and that's all the ingredients that we need. And then we're gonna go ahead and just mix this up with a spatula. And I actually use a spatula just to kind of start getting it incorporated. And then what I do is I actually use like latex gloves. You can get those in the cleaning section at the grocery store. They're like 50 in a box for like $2.99. I like to use those a lot when I mix things with my hands, just because I do have long nails, and that way the stuff doesn't get under the nails, and it is a lot more sanitary too. So I prefer using those to mix this up. Okay, so once you have it all mixed up really, really well so that everything's incorporated, we're going to use just a standard loaf pan, and then just a sheet of wax paper. We're just gonna line the loaf pan with the wax paper. Now the reason we do this instead of using like a non-stick spray or something like that is because we're gonna freeze these for about 15 minutes to let them get really nice and firm before we slice them up into servings. But with the wax paper, you can easily just pull them out and set them aside, and they don't really dirty your loaf pan, and it's really easy to get your protein bars in and out of the pan. I'm just gonna put these in here. You just wanna press down evenly. And I like to use actually the back of my hand, just because it covers more surface and also gives you just a little bit more muscle to push these things down. All right, so after you have them all pressed down evenly, we're gonna go ahead and place these in the freezer for 15 minutes, and then we'll take them back out and we'll slice them up. All right guys, it's been 15 minutes now, so I just took the no-bake protein bars out of the freezer. And this is what I was talking about with the wax paper. You can just hold this and pull it aside. It's easy cleanup. And now what we're gonna do is we're going to slice this into 7 equal bars. I use these little Ziploc snack bags. And then I cut 3 pieces of wax paper. Then we're gonna cut these into thirds, because we're gonna package these up so they are ready to go. Take your sheet of your wax paper, take one of your bars. And the reason I use the wax paper is because these are a good like on-the-go treat. And I like to use the wax paper just simply to keep it separated from the bag, but also it's nice to use as to hold whenever you're eating it, like in your car, or if you're running around or if you're at work or something like that, it keeps your hands nice and clean. So put it in the snack baggie, get the air out, and that's it. So these will freeze good for about 3 months. So like I said, if you wanna make a big batch, I highly recommend it because it's so easy. You can see it's very minimal ingredients. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish packaging up the rest of these, and I'll show you guys when I'm all done. All right guys, I got them all wrapped up. I'm gonna go ahead and place them in the freezer for storage. I think they're easy to grab and go later. So thank you so much guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.